Hey guys, welcome back. It's Dr. Kael with Moulton Chiropractic, and we're coming back with some more pediatric and pregnancy chiropractic talk. And today our topic is toxic stress and how stress really bombards our children and just requires even more the need of chiropractic care to help them handle their stresses. And the really interesting thing is a lot of times we don't even realize that these stresses are affecting our children. And so that's just my goal here, is to educate you guys on what to look for and how chiropractic can help your children. Now, this is a really passionate topic for me, as pregnancy is how I got my start in chiropractic for the first time. I was 7 months pregnant with my oldest daughter when I was stricken with low back pain. And not knowing what to do and really not having the option of taking any medication or anything like that, I chose and sought out chiropractic care. And it was the best decision I ever could have made. One, because it just inspired me to become a chiropractor, so that I'm sitting here today talking to you about how to take care of your children with chiropractic care. But also, it took care of my back pain. I have felt the greatest I've ever felt in my life. I was able to move better. I was able to lift weights better. I was a personal trainer at the time, so I was just having a lot less things affect me that normally were affecting me even before the back pain. So again, we're going to talk about toxic stress today with our topic, and really to start with is, what does that mean? What is stress? And it basically starts with a small stressor onto the body and little things that we can get over. So if there's a small amount of stress onto the body, usually we can handle those things. It's when it builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up, and there is so many different types of things affecting our bodies that we just cannot handle them all. And what even compounds this stress is just the prolonged exposure to that stress. We're living toxic, rich environments, and I'll go back into detail a little bit more on that in a second. So with children, then there's no verbalization, meaning they have a very tough time telling us what's going on in their bodies. They are newborn, 1, 2, 3 years old. Their verbal skills aren't developed enough for them to articulate to us what's going on. And so I've talked about stress now a number of times, and so let's define that a little bit. And so the easiest way to remember this is to think of the 3 T's: toxins, traumas, and thoughts. So toxins come in the form of, think of anything like a chemical imbalance. So really anything that's going into our bodies. The food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, what we brush our teeth with, the medications we take, the supplements we take, lotions that we put on our skin, the shampoos, the soaps that we wash our hair with. All of those things, or anything in that category, are coming into the body, and our body has to process it some way, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. Traumas in the form of physical traumas. So that one's pretty easy to understand. It's in our physical world. So think of injuries, think of anything acting physically on the body, car accidents, things like that. But also, when you think of children, we often don't think of traumas growing up, especially around that 1 year of age when they're learning to walk. And so what happens when kids are learning to walk? They fall down a whole lot. And what else do? They hit their head a whole lot, because they're trying to learn how to move, how to be able to stabilize their bodies, how to strengthen their hips, how to stabilize their core. And so throughout those accidents or whatever, where they're falling down, that can oftentimes misalign the pelvis or misalign the spine in a way that it is in need of a chiropractic adjustment. And then the last T is thoughts. And this is probably what we think of when we use the term stress in our culture today. We think of like a mental stress. And so when I say stress, I'm actually talking about all these different ways that life is acting on our body, the 3 T's. but thoughts being the mental stress. So how you're thinking about yourself, your mood, your relationships, your spirituality, all the things that make up basically your thought life or your mind life. And so those are kind of the overview of the stresses that we talk about when we're saying, hey, stress is causing X, Y, Z, or this stress is acting on the body in this way. And our systems are just so stressed with all these 3T different types of stressors that we get overwhelmed and our body becomes less adaptable, meaning our body's just like, it's too much. I can only adapt to this much. Beyond that, that's when the circuit breakers catch, or that's when we start getting symptoms. Maybe we start getting sick, or we start getting a pain, like as adults. But think about having those things as a child when they don't have the verbalization skills to tell us that those things are happening. So that's what this is chiropractic can be that advocate for your child, because we are the only profession that is so highly trained to pick up these different types of stresses in the body and release them and help you get rid of them. So what are some common symptoms of stress? If we think about, okay, we've talked about stress, we've talked about the 3 different kinds of stress, what that is, and how we get overwhelmed, and then we can't adapt to that. So now, how do we recognize it? And so things that we see in our office, and that I know my colleagues see in their office too, is allergies. So allergies either to some sort of like a hay fever type allergy, or even potential food allergies, respiratory infections, breathing issues like asthma, and GI problems such as constipation, indigestion. If you think about newborns, think about them spitting up, think about them being very colicky. Colicky is usually related to some sort of gastrointestinal distress. And the nerves that come from the lumbar part of the spine also not only feed the muscles there, but they feed the vital organs there. So a misalignment in the spine in that area could actually be causing some of these colicky issues, or they spit up things. And so it takes a really refined assessment to find these misalignments in your children's spines, release them so that their bodies can just start to function properly again. But it all starts within the body. And so we want to avoid like this dodgeball mentality of avoiding germs and illnesses. Like that's not the big bad guy here. The big bad guy is the rest of the world, the 3 T's, the toxins, traumas, and thoughts that we talked about, and then your body's inability to adapt to them. And there are other ways other than chiropractic care to help your body adapt to these, and these are stuff we already know. Eating correctly, exercising, having good thought life. Those things will also help you adapt to it. But the ones that you cannot adapt to, that is what the chiropractic adjustment is for. And that's how we help our bodies release those stresses. And so all of this overwhelming bombardment of stress just really causes this perfect storm of nervous system disruption basically in our children. So other things that I want you guys to look for in your children are when it comes to pregnancy. So if you had a stressful pregnancy, that's going to actually can transfer sometimes into your child, that the first environment that they grew in was just a little bit stressful. Any sort of birth intervention that may not have gone ideally. Some of those things, like if we think of really any birth, whether it's a belly birth or cesarean or a vaginal birth, it takes a lot of head rotation for that baby to get out of mama. And so a lot of times the first bone in the neck is the one that we need to look at the most when it comes to newborn and infant chiropractic care, because that one just gets a little bit misaligned, and then there's so many things that controls, that the upper cervical spine controls, that we want that one to be in place so that the brain can talk to the body much better. We've got birth trauma. childhood falls and accidents, we already talked about that one. Other toxins including antibiotics, poor diet, medications. These are things we've kind of already talked about as well. Other environmental toxins. I mean, we live in Grapevine, Texas, right by DFW Airport, so we've got planes flying overhead all the time. Not really something that you can handle, but just think about that is a stressor acting on the body as well. So thoughts, fear, anxiety, having a busy lifestyle, just a technology overload. I mean, we can talk about the amount of screen time that we all get nowadays, which you are watching this on a screen right now, I realize, but that plays a factor as stress in our lives, impulsive behaviors and social challenges. So some of these early warning signs that you can take a look at in your children or children that you know is, we talked about colic or sleep issues. We've got reflux or diarrhea even, difficulty nursing. And a lot of people think that is actually something wrong with their breast or their lactation or something like that. Sometimes it can be because the baby just simply can't turn their head to latch onto mama's breast. And so again, we take a look at the first bone in the neck, which is the largely responsible for rotation of the head. Make sure it's sitting where it needs to so the baby can just simply turn their head and latch onto mama's breast. Torticollis, which is a condition where the muscle in the neck right here spasms and it gets their head stuck in position like this. That is very much a chiropractic issue that we can help with. We've got ear infections. Ear infections, I see a lot of kids with ear infections all the time, and most of the time, 9 times out of 10, we get their ears adjusted, we get their upper cervical necks adjusted, and it resolves itself within a few days, and most of the time without even the need for antibiotics. Respiratory infections we talked about, allergies we talked about, think about any skin conditions like eczema, and then any motor and speech delays. We had a baby in the practice here that was crawling kind of funky, like she would have one leg up and one leg she would be on the knee, and we were just kind of looking at her like, okay, is this the way she should be crawling? And what we did is we did a pelvic assessment on her and we got her pelvis aligned, and she was crawling a lot less like that, but again, those are the types of things that we assess with motor development, speech delays, things like that in your children that you want to look for, that chiropractic can be a very big help for that. So what does it look like in our office when a child comes in? How are they going to be evaluated? And so their first evaluation, we're just really looking at everything. I'm asking all the questions. How did the birth go? What is home life like? How are they nursing? How are they moving? Are they spitting up a lot? All of the things. How did the pregnancy go? Things like that. Then we get into treatment, which significantly reduces their exposure to the 3 T's. And then we are starting to look at the progress of their care. So again, we're kind of monitoring all of the things and making sure that they're hitting all of their milestones as far as movement milestones, speech milestones, all of that. And then these multiple factors over time, this is what creates this perfect storm. And what we do with chiropractic care is we're decreasing those factors that are just causing this whirlwind of bombardment on that child's nervous system. So if we help decrease the stresses affecting the body, we are going to live just a much richer, fuller, happier life. And as you guys all know, happy kids equal happy moms and dads and happier, healthier families. And the most important thing to know is if you are struggling or your child is struggling with these things and you're stressed as a mom or a dad and just not knowing what to do, that you're not alone. You're not alone in this fight. We've got mamas and daddas all the time in here, dealing with the same thing. And that's really what we've wanted to provide at our office, is we want to provide a community for you to help you know that you're not alone and that it is completely okay that you're handling these things. They're not normal, but there is an answer and there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what we are providing here. So what are the next steps, guys? I want to challenge all of you watching right now is I want you to tell 12 people about chiropractic care. Tell 12 people even just a little minute of anything that you learned today, something that you didn't have any clue about. Go out and share chiropractic with me, guys. This is a huge movement. Our children are stressed out and we don't even know it. And the cool thing is there's an answer. Chiropractic can really help our kids live through life and, you know, not have the things that we have in adulthood today. And you know what? The kids aren't the only one in the storm, guys. Adults are being bombarded with our own stresses, and I think everyone listening would be a liar if they didn't say that they're not stressed out or they don't have some sort of ache or pain or some sort of mental stress or GI problem riddling their life that just is causing them not to live their life to the fullest. So kids are not the only one in this. We are all in this, and just know that chiropractic is advocating for you to get out of that storm. So if you have any questions, go ahead and you can leave them in the comments below. You can contact me at with my email, drkael@moultonchiropractic.com. That's DRKAEL at Moulton Chiropractic. That's Moulton is MOULTON, chiropractic.com. Or you can visit our website, which is moultonchiropractic.com. We've got lots of information on there. There's also a link to a discovery form that you can fill out, answer some questions. It'll shoot me a direct email, and if you would like me to, I will contact you via phone. So you don't even have to come into the office and get an appointment if you still have more questions. I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding chiropractic care in our office. Our phone number is 402-366-0246. You can be happy to reach me. You can text or call me on that number. And so there's one other thing I want to tell you guys about. On February 9th, I am having a free Mommy and Me yoga class. So it's a class that you come, bring your kids. We're going to do some kid yoga, some mom yoga. That's February 9th at 9 a.m. at Moulton Chiropractic. I'll be posting it so that you have the address and all that, but just kind of save the date, kind of keep that date in mind if that's something that you want to come to. I'll also be available for questions. I'll be there to meet you, to meet your children, to meet your family, and just really help you get a start in your chiropractic care. And so that is all that I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you guys being here and listening with me, and I hope you have learned something and can find peace, find joy, find happiness in what I've shared today. I will be providing a link to the PowerPoint that I have if you guys need this information in the discussion, and there's also a video that kind of talks about toxic stress that I'll also put in the link to this post as well. So again, thanks for joining me. We hope to see you soon here at Moulton Chiropractic. Have a great day, you all.